Hi everyone, I'm Vinny. I'm like Paul said, I'm from Australia. I studied here. I studied economics here, joined a big four firm, and then quit my job to become a bookseller, which is a very unconventional thing to do. The reason for that is I just love books and I love telling stories. So I did that, and during my time as a bookseller, I created this Instagram page called 1000 Libraries, where I share stories about beautiful libraries and bookstores from all around the world. And one thing led to another, and for some reason, this caught the attention of millions of book lovers from all around the world. So we have about 1.8 million followers across all our social media platforms now, and 1000 libraries before it's anything else. It's a community of like-minded people who are bound by a common love for physical books in the age of digital technology. Our mission is to inspire people to visit more libraries and bookstores and keep the magic of books alive in our digital age. So that's about me, and the company has been operating now for since 2020. What's really interesting is that I never wanted this to be a business, right? This never was meant to be more than just a blog that I really cared about. And for some reason, like I said, it became quite popular on social media, which kind of led me to think about projects that I've had in my mind, and one of them was a book. So I wanted to publish a book with beautiful photography and stories about the most beautiful libraries and bookstores from all around the world. And the story is that I actually went to all the publishing houses, the big ones, to pitch the idea. I had 500,000 followers at the time in 2023. And most of them rejected my project, except for one, right? And what happened was they gave me an offer. They said, Vinny, we're going to give you this much money as an advance. We're going to publish your book. We love what you're doing. And I looked at the deal, and at the time, I was, I was a poor bookseller and also a mature graduate student in philosophy. I returned to university a bit later in my life, and so it was very attractive, but I respectfully declined and took this project to Kickstarter. I thought that that could be an interesting thing to do, and then, so I put up a video together, and I needed $50,000 to publish the book, right? And I didn't think it would work, to be completely honest. I had 30 days to raise $50,000, and within I think, oh, sorry, 3 days, I raised the $50,000. And at the end of the 30-day Kickstarter campaign, I raised 5 times that, $250,000, which completely changed my life. This book is now published, and it's loved by thousands of people from all around the world, and which kind of, kickstarted something else, which was um, an online store where we could, create products for book lovers, things that I always wanted to own, but that never really existed on the market. And I did that again, and I created another Kickstarter campaign to publish my second book, which was very popular. This time the funding goal was raised 10 times, which was kind of crazy. And now 1000 libraries, before it is an online store, it's very much a community of like-minded book lovers. But we do have incredible products that don't exist anywhere else. on the market, and those products are loved by thousands of book lovers, which and 1,000 libraries is now much more than what it used to be. It's a team of about 40 people globally, and it is now my full-time job to run this company.
Tell a little bit more about the Kickstarter. So you said that 3 days and you raised the amount. Did you put a little bit of PR into this, or that was just organically on the Kickstarter?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. We did we reached out to a bunch of media outlets. So what was really helpful was this project, and 1,000 libraries as a whole was featured on over 50 interviews during the Kickstarter campaign. We tried to raise as much awareness about what I was trying to do. But also bear in mind that before this is a business, it's a community, and I care deeply about every single one of our community members, our followers. I respond to DMs myself. Even though we have a social media manager, right? And I think of this not as a business, but really as a supportive community that love what we do, love the content that we create, love the products that we create. So it was a big effort in the sense that I was working with a bunch of people at the time. We pushed pretty hard on the PR side of things. I was on national TV, but the community has been incredibly supportive. So I had 500,000 followers at the time, and a lot of these followers, decided to back this project with which ended up creating this wonderful book that is now still selling and one of our bestsellers.
Hmm. What about like eventually like content creation? You said 40 team members, right? Do you mind to share a little bit more how you create the content and a little bit of tips for the audience?
Yeah, and I think there's no magic rule about social media, right? I don't think that anyone who's gone viral or who's gone who's gotten a lot of followers have done it for the money or for likes or for fame. I think it's really about connecting with people online about a common interest and providing information but entertainment as well. And I think the thing that I'm really proud of is that we publish every day, right, on social media. This is one big part of our jobs. Yes, we do create products. Yes, we have an online store, but I never, and it's a bit strange for me to be invited to an e-commerce for an e-commerce talk, because I see 1,000 libraries as essentially a media company. We publish content and we try to make people smile and feel positive about life. And so I think the main thing is to really care. Right, really care about the content, really care about people, really try to be to follow one's passion, right? I love books so much. I have thousands of books here, and that's a big part of my life, right? So that in 1,000 libraries is a natural extension of who I am, and if I was to do that with any other products, it wouldn't work. Right, it would just sound fake, or it would sound like there was an agenda behind it. But when I started this, I would post every day, and I think the other thing that's really important is to keep that cadence, to try to post as much as possible, as often as possible, and not to care about the amount of likes. When I started 1,000 libraries, I had one follower. That was my mother, right? I'm very glad to have a very supportive mother, which is great. But before it got to 1.2 million followers on Instagram, it was very slow growth at the start, and I never wanted it to grow into what it is now. I just cared about. I saw it as a personal, kind of like a journal, right? And that's the beauty of social media. I think it's the ability putting what you care about online, and somehow maybe connecting with like-minded people. So posting every day is important, but I think also it's about telling stories, right? Social media, there's a lot of crap on social media, and people just all types of content that is not very useful for society. And when we, to me, my mission was to celebrate book places and book lovers, and this kind of lifestyle, right? And I love, like I said, I love telling stories. That's the reason why I quit my corporate job to become a bookseller, because I love telling stories and I love reading stories. And social media is a storytelling platform. We consume media because they're telling stories. It's replacing now how I used to watch TV or used to listen to radio. It's a way to listen to see stories about other people, and I think the secret is about telling stories that resonate with people, not in as a goal, and not for the gain of popularity or money, but really for connecting with a like-minded individual, and that's been really great for 1000 libraries. With every time we publish, it's not always a popular post, but we continue to tell stories every single day, no matter what, no matter how little likes we get or shares or comments. And once in a while, a post might go viral, like this one. We had 450 likes, all organic, no ads, no nothing. And thousands of comments, right? And sometimes we might get, a few hundred likes. And to me, and to our team, this is completely irrelevant. Those social media metrics are completely irrelevant. We tell stories that we care about, and sometimes they resonate. And thankfully for us, most of our stories have resonated with millions of people around the world.
What I know about you guys, you always care about the content design, etc. So you guys going through the different iterations and stuff like that. So when coming back to the idea that you are building this community, I know that like you've been featured on many places, right? And you generating those ideas. How, like, I know one of your ideas was just to set up like a different library awards. Tell me how this idea came to your mind.
Yeah, and it's something that I did in 2023, because I found that there was not one place, I mean, one competition, global competition that engaged book lovers to vote for their favorite libraries and favorite bookstores. And so I launched this competition called the 1000 Libraries Awards. The first iteration was in 2023, and it was extremely popular. So people saw it as a fun thing to do, right? So that's what got us on national TV and so on and so on. And I did it again in 2025. This time with my team, and this time we managed to get over 200,000 votes, right? So when we published the results of this competition, it caught the eye of a lot of media outlets, and the 1000 Libraries Awards has been featured in CNBC, in Time Out, and all these media publishing companies that wanted to amplify the idea that libraries and bookstores deserve to be celebrated in this age of digital technology. So that was quite a successful thing. It wasn't something that I planned for it to be this big, but I think it's something fun to do, and it's just great to see that the media is interested in this, as opposed to letting bookstores and libraries die. I think it's quite heartwarming and optimistic about the world, that humans still care about these things.
So yeah, that's you on the TV, on the Melbourne TV, as far as I understand. So I assume that your personal brand. How do you think your personal brand in this case became like the foundation of the success of the company?
Oh, that's a very good question, Paul. And uh, I'm not a huge fan of the word personal brand or even like promoting myself as the founder of 1,000 libraries, but someone has to do it, right? And I think, I'm an introvert myself. I love books, I love staying home, I love spending time with my dogs and so on and so on. But I think one thing that was required of me, growing this business into what it is now, and where I would love it to be in the future, is to, I love to impact even more and more book lovers from all around the world, um, and impact their lives positively, right, and bring optimism into the world. It required a face, right? It required someone to tell the stories, and I do think that uh, uh, me naturally caring for what I do is almost effortless when it comes to going on TV or going on radio or doing interviews and so on and so on, because I love what I do. I think it's the best job in the world, and when I do talk about our work at 1,000 libraries, and it's just I don't have a script, man. It's just straight from my heart. Proud of what we do, and making sure that people love books, and that they feel seen. Mostly, I think that's the most important part. That there's a lot of book lovers like myself that are in their little apartments, and that are reading, and then that might not really feel seen by society today. So I think my job is to make sure that people feel seen and feel understood, and that they feel cared for, and they feel like they have a place in society. So as much as I don't like public speaking, and I teach at the University of Melbourne as well, and it's not that something that I personally enjoy doing, being on stage or being in front of a class, but because I care so much, and because I see the impact, positive impact, that makes it all worthwhile.
That's awesome. So that's I know the audience here probably don't know about your book. So publishing dot 1,000 libraries. That's the 4 products that Winnie offered on the market, right? So I wanted just to tell a little bit more how like so you build a community and now you're releasing those new products. I think
Yes.
it's like few times a year, right? So
Mhm.
tell a bit more like how do you find those ideas in maybe
Yeah.
like 2-3 minutes?
Yeah, and it's these products that we have now on our online store have come from months, if not years, of ideation, and essentially the idea behind building those products and coming up with them is from uh, you know, uh, creating something that doesn't exist in the market, right? I've always wanted a beautiful coffee table book with beautiful stories of libraries and bookstores that wasn't really there on the market. Protectors of the Written Word, it's the same thing. That I wanted a book that felt like when I felt crap about the world, right? And there's a lot of negative things happening in the world. I wanted to be able to open a book and feel good about it. So they tell stories about people that have dedicated their lives to spreading the joy of reading. Same things with the coloring book. We created a coloring book especially created for book lovers, and our latest one is a subscription. I used to love receiving letters in the mail from people, and we're bringing that back, that physical analog kind of joy, right? That I think a lot of people need these days. So they're products that we don't really see out there, and we want, that's it takes us a while to create them, but when we do release them, they're usually loved by thousands of our community members.
So for everyone who's asking the question, just so you know, there's a couple of links that I put here on the slides. Publishing 1,000 libraries, obviously follow Instagram for and ask. You can contact Winnie using his personal website to ask the questions. But we do have some questions from the crowd that I definitely want to ask you. So and some of them are really in a very similar stuff. So I'm just a startup and I've been struggling to increase the follower. I believe that's one fundamental things I should achieve in order to reach more audience. And the second one is, if I want to take start from scratch, and what platform is good to start while I'm studying, etc. So it's kind of very related. Like, how do you start? Which platform would you choose now? And knowing what you know, what you would recommend for attendees.
Yeah, and then to answer the first questions, by the way, they're really, really great questions. I think that treating social media not so much as building an audience, but to tell your story, tell stories that you care about. I think that's the key here, right? It's about, if I was to start a startup tomorrow, I would use social media to tell the story about why I want to solve this problem, right? It's not so much about the solution itself. It's about, oh, the problem, right? It's about why is this problem so painful, and why does it resonate with other people? Is it something that other people feel as well? The pain points and so on and so on. And I think there's a huge opportunity for people that build startups, to engage, to build a community around a common thing, right? Which is what the 1000 Libraries is. It's about building it was about building community, about a common love for books, right? And with startups, it could be essentially the same thing. Tech startups solve problems, and the problems, a good startup should fix problems that are experienced by a lot of people to be successful, right? So I think that the telling the story about the problem, but also the behind the scenes of building a solution. And on social media, it can be quite powerful, but also I think that nowadays, this on social media, there's a lot of polished kind of content, right? A lot of people spend a lot of money. They have either bring a production team to create, really, really polished content. And I think that for startups are small, right? Startups are fighting against very, very, very big companies, right? They're disrupting industries, and that's something that's very courageous. And I think that telling the story of, and not being scared of being small, just being proud of, yeah, we're small, but we're building something cool, and that's for people, everyday people, right? And we actually care, right? The big companies only care about profits. They care about their shareholders. They care about their share price going up. But the startups have this incredible this incredible appeal to being something that can be democratized, right? So I think telling that story is it can be very enticing and very powerful, and a community can be built around that. Now, when it comes to the platform, I think it doesn't really matter. I think at this point, I would say maybe avoid. Things like, I don't know if MySpace is still there, but maybe avoid MySpace, and focus on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and I do think that I see it every day. I see creators that we work with a few thousand followers that are growing very, very quickly, because they're just genuine about what they love, and what they love, the things that they publish, and so passionate. And I think that the main thing to remember about social media, and like I said, it's not about chasing fame, it's not about chasing revenue, it's not about chasing likes. It's about telling stories that matter to you, and hopefully finding other people that care about the same things. And well, if someone takes that approach, and really and is good with storytelling, and it's very genuine, I have no doubt that the followers count will grow, and they will find, and people will start bonding, and with the content.
Winnie, thank you so much for spending your time with our audience today.